Hey, come on in here.
Uh-oh, look at him.
I have my coffee.
Well, come sit down.
I bet you've already had like 5 cups of coffee.
This third
Okay.
cup.
Third cup.
Third cup.
I stayed at Brittany's house last night.
Yeah.
She goes, Dad, I have coffee for you, but I don't have any normal creamer. So it was, I don't know, some pumpkin spice. That's what the kids have nowadays.
Yeah, kids. You liked it, though, didn't you?
I did. Well, you know, years ago, they started those NASCAR physicals, which made me pay attention to my health a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I was using all that hazelnut creamer. Well, I read up on it. They say it's really bad for you. So I went to normal cream. So she knows that. She goes, Dad, I'm sorry. I got pumpkin spice. I said, it's all right. So it was like ice cream.
How much coffee do you drink? You don't need coffee.
2012, I was trying to find ways to get rid of all the sugar. So I had to get off of Coke, Pepsi, sweet tea, and I was like this.
Yeah.
And so I found coffee, and I just like it.
Yeah.
Do you drink all day or just in the mornings?
No, just in the mornings.
Yeah.
Get up.
Yeah.
Get up. My mother-in-law lives with us, so she's got the coffee maker made. I go in there, and probably about 2 cups.
Your mother-in-law lives with you?
Yes. You know.
Wow.
Okay. Now listen. It works.
Put that mic a little closer, too, so we can make sure we're hearing everything.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
There you
You got it.
Now, see, if I was in the race car, it'd be like this right
yeah.
here. Ain't that right?
As close as you can get it.
All my ADD's kicking in right now. Now I'm thinking about Rusty telling me when I first started racing, Herman, when you drive that race car now, you got to make sure you push that. You only want right here, 1 finger width.
Yes.
See how the way my
finger
brain
width.
works?
If
you.
your microphone wasn't, if you couldn't push your lips out and touch it,
Right.
something
Like-
was wrong.
Yeah,
You're freaking out. You're like,
Yeah.
And
you're
people
at your
do
hand
that.
up there.
Now I'm willing to embarrass myself.
Yeah.
What Junior's telling you is you got to do like this.
Now,
Yeah.
and
You do
people
that.
do that. I see crew chiefs will do that. They can't
do it.
talk to their driver without
I'll-
kissing the mic.
Well,
They're
if
kissing the mic.
if you do that and you don't touch the microphone,
You're too far.
we gotta stop. We gotta get this right.
It
You know?
clearances it for you.
Yes.
So it's like this. You go.
Yep.
And then there it is. It's perfect.
Because you don't
like
want
that.
it touching. That's annoying.
What was the question?
About your mother-in-law
D.
living with you?
So her husband died,
Okay.
and it was catastrophic. And it just seemed when we were leaving, you know, that it was catastrophic for me to leave here and move back to St. Louis, but I really wanted to. So she's a good lady, first of all. So when we left here, I thought, you know what? I hear these things called suites in homes. So we have her door. She opens the door to her bedroom. She got everything in there, her bathroom and all that. And she's easy speasy, man. And she's good to me. And we got this little Post-it note on the coffee machine, and it just says coffee ready. And I get up sometimes too early, and I take it off, and I push the button, and there's my coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Right
pretty
on.
awesome.
So you're a coffee drinker. You don't ever drink. You won't drink when you're driving to those millions of tracks that you drive every year.
So water is hard for me to drink, but I know I have to drink it. I had Jennifer Marshall. She's Priority Aviation. Jennifer is a very, her husband Richard, they're great people. If you look at my race card, it says Priority Aviation. Well, she's into health. And she goes, Kenny Wallace, you need to drink more water. I'm like, how? Why are you saying that? Am I shriveled up? You know, do I look like Richard Petty?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Well, he's the king, but
Yeah.
he maybe needs to drink more water too. So I think water lubricates your skin, is what she was trying to tell me. So I try to drink water because I think it's good.
When did you drive your first race car?
1982.
First race car?
No,
82?
No, thanks. See, I knew this would be therapy, and I appreciate you. I do, because you're making me think now.
Yeah.
Drove my very first race car probably when I was, and there's pictures out there. It was my brother Mike's car at Lake Hill Speedway, Valley Park, Missouri, and I was scared to death. I thought, oh my gosh, this is way different than I thought.
What kind of car was it?
It was a, what was that thing?
Like a street stock?
No, it was actually a dirt car that Mike had there, and we ran it on asphalt. I don't know. Camaro, something like that.
Isn't that crazy back then in the late 70s? It's not as crazy, I guess, in the 60s and the 70s, early 70s. But then in the late 70s, guys would run dirt cars on asphalt.
Oh, yeah.
Asphalt cars on dirt.
Yeah.
It really didn't matter. Like nowadays, God, you would never run a dirt car on asphalt, right?
Oh, right.
Everything's specialized. And you bring up great memories. So my dad, Russ, was another, Dale Earnhardt or Ralph. Dad would race his dirt car everywhere, anytime. But my job was when we were done racing the dirt track, I'd change the gears and I'd take the drum brakes off with a wire brush. And I'd wire brush the brakes and then blow them all out. And then we'd run the asphalt race.
Yeah.
But you always had a windshield. See? I can't imagine those guys running with windshields, but they did.
In dirt.
Dad ran a windshield on dirt.
Dang.
Gosh, up into the
Man,
mid-70s.
how do they see?
That's what one night he didn't. Dad come off of turn 4, Tri-City Speedway, Granite City, Illinois. Stuck the telephone poles not far in the ground, and they had mounds of dirt around them. And Dad would always be low. Now I realize why he was so low, because he was trying to get those left sides in some good dirt, some stickum. And his left front popped that thing, and it come way up, about flip over, and the crowd would go, ah. Anyway, early in the night, I'll never forget Dad flipped, because he did that. And Rusty and Mike got the car ready to go for the A-main, but couldn't put the hood on, had to take the hood off, started overheating, couldn't see. And I remember watching as a little kid, Dad's driving with his head out the window, climbs the wall, takes the whole fence down, and later they have to cancel the event. Dad's okay. Okay, Dad's the one that wrecked real bad, tore the fence down. Dad's okay. My mom, Judy, she'll be here in a little bit. She comes flying out of the grandstands. Now, remember, in the 70s, we fought because Dad would win too much, so they hated us. My mom comes flying out of the grandstands, climbs. Okay, now the fence is down. She's climbing over the fence. The electric lines are on the fence. She electrocutes herself.
Oh, my God.
My mom is the one that ends up going to the hospital. Dad's fine.
Whoa.
Because of the windshield.
Yeah.
Because he's looking out, because the hood was off and the water's all over the windshield.
Wow. And your mom's coming here, by the way? Did you just say that?
Yeah, because I'm a vagabond. I left Phoenix, Yuma. So if you get in the car and drive past the racetrack at Phoenix, go 3 hours, agriculture capital of the United States, Yuma, all the lettuce. Anyway, I was racing out there Friday and Saturday night.
Wow.
And so I landed here, so excited to be here today. And my CPA accountant, he celebrated 30 years in business yesterday. So Brittany, my daughter, drops me off, and you got like 500 fans out there, and I'm embarrassed a little bit ago. I got all my luggage. And I'm like, hi. So then my mom's going to come in a little bit, and when we're done here, take me to the airport.
Okay.
Where are you going now?
Crazy.
No,
I'm gonna
where
go
you
crazy.
You getting on? You getting in there? You going home?
So I'm going to go home and go home tonight. Everything's done at the shop. I'm thinking about right now what I got to do. We're going on a cruise Thursday. I'm about a 5-day cruiser, but my wife goes, no, you're 10. I'm like, Mommy, please help me.
Now, I may have this
days.
wrong.
You're
Y'all-
going on a 10-day cruise.
7, but she's taking me to Miami 2 days early.
Oh.
Didn't you guys have a crazy cruise experience? It's like, didn't y'all get screwed somehow by airlines
Yes.
recently? So is this like a makeup cruise? Or you never ended up going on a cruise, did you?
Your sister Kelly made me so happy. She roughed up an airlines on Twitter the other day.
Is that right?
And it was the same airlines. So here's what
Leah's shaking her head. Yes, she roughed her up. She roughed them
yeah,
up.
she did a good job. I love your sister, and I love you too. So what happens is my brother Rusty, his daughter Katie is getting married in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico.
Yep.
My wife, I love my wife to death, and I'm watching her from a distance over like a 5-day period. She starts packing 5 days early, right? She gets her nails done, gets all her hot clothes ready, for like Cabo. And they get all ready, and they're going to the wedding because Rusty's daughter's getting married in Cabo. They get to the airport, and they can't just cancel the flight. Say it's going to leave tomorrow. They get there the next
that's
day.
what it was.
They canceled it again.
Okay, yeah.
By the time the plane took off 3 days later, I said, "You got what kind of airlines can do that?" So yeah, well,
That's what it was. It wasn't a cruise. It was you were going to.
Yeah.
They were going to the wedding.
yeah.
Right.
So I think Mikey Waltrip blocked me because Mikey comes in behind me and goes, the name of the airlines. Oh, it's a great airlines. I said, until they, you know, and I guess I pissed Mikey off, so he blocked me.
Blocked you on Twitter?
Yeah.
Michael?
Yeah, but that's okay.
Well, why does Michael have such an
Wait a
affinity for
minute.
airlines?
No,
Because
no.
Mikey's more messed up than me, and he, you know, me, I got thick skin, so every once in a while I'll argue with people on Twitter.
We're missing something.
Mikey's
of that story.
looking for positive mental attitude all the time. So, but yeah, the airlines pissed me
Who's
off.
more positive than you?
I think the bigger point here is that Michael Watcher blocked you on Twitter. I can't believe you two guys should get along great.
Yeah, and it's weird too because last time I seen him, we hugged each other. It
Yeah.
was like 3 days ago at Toyota get together. I think the reason he blocked me was because he's looking for PMA, positive mental attitude. And that day, I didn't have 1 ounce of positive
That's
mental attitude.
that's what you promote.
Well, maybe he
do.
just blocked you for a day. He
I
doesn't
do.
still have you blocked, does he? There's no way.
Michael, you got to unblock
Unblock
Kenny.
for God's sake.
Watch him go, hell, now I know why you weren't showing up on there. I
He
blocked
thought
your
you
ass.
left Twitter.
You know what's funny about promoting positive mental attitude? You know, I remember you growing up as a kid, right? We raced slot cars together. And so I know you before you were Dale Jr. My whole life, people would look at me and go, man, you're crazy, Wallace. I'm like, I am? It took me forever to figure out that I was different. You know, I thought happy was real. Like, hey, hey, let's go party, woo. And, you know, race is over, let's drink some beer. And at 56 years old, I've learned that happy is not normal. And that's sad.
That is sad.
Yeah, everybody told me I'm messed up I was my whole life. But I'm not. But people told me that. So I promote PMA juniors because everybody should work hard to be happy.
Yeah.
Well, that's what makes this Michael Waltrip thing so ironic.
It is.
That the one that promotes PMA got
What?
his ass blocked.
Watch me get on my phone right now and he unblocked me.
Well, he better.
So-
We're going to put out a social media campaign for this.
One of the things that I wanted to ask you about is you just told me you started driving in 82 or sometime around 1982, right?
Drove a car in 82.
Right. Well, how did you become a crew member
Yeah.
in the Cup Series?
I'm glad you're asking me all this.
'Cause I want you to tell me. I want to know how you went from wherever you were to crew member on the 98 Levi Garrett car. I'm assuming that was the first Cup car you worked on, and then to crew chief. Why that happened? How long were you in charge of that role? And then where you went from there?
Good
Because I see pictures of you. You talk about it on social media and Twitter. Crew chief in the 98 Levi Garrett, Joe Ruttman driven car at Daytona and so forth. And I'm like, well, wait.
That's awesome.
What's the story that got you there?
Yeah, thanks. And the reason, you know, I put stuff like that out there is I want people to know there's more to me. So I do it on purpose.
For sure.
It's not that I'm seeking attention, which
No,
I
it's
do
great.
seek attention.
No.
But, you know, look, hey, there's more to me than just, you know, TV guy, you know. So in 1982, my brother Mike felt bad for me that I had not been a race car driver yet. The first thing that needs to be said about my career is I got caught early in my career being a mechanic and fabricator. Rusty and Mike, you know, and it kind of suppressed me. Get your ass to work on that race car, you know. So Rusty and Mike liked it that I could work on the race car, you know. So Mike in 82 got me a street stock ride at the Springfield, Illinois Fairgrounds.
Yep.
I won the damn race.
Oh, wow.
82.
Yeah.
84, Joe Ruttman calls me up because Joe Ruttman remembered me changing tires on Rusty's USAC car. We'd race up in Milwaukee, you know, all the USAC stock car races.
Joe racing that.
Joe Ruttman, right. So Joe Ruttman at the time's driving the Levi Garrett car in Cup. And lo and behold, I remember the moment. I'm in Jefferson, Georgia, and me and Rusty, we're going into a McDonald's. And it was at that moment, I mean, Joe Ruttman just flat asked me, hey, would you come work on this Cup car? I'm like, oh, my God, my heart's pounding. I said, hold on. I go back to St. Louis, and I'm literally repairing vacuum cleaners at my uncle's store. And the whole time I'm working on those vacuum cleaners, I'm like, oh, my God, I can't. I literally snuck away from the bench, went to one of those portable offices, had the phone number, called him up, like hid in a corner and said, Joe, I'm going to do it. So here me and Kim, we're not even married. And at the same time, we drive down, and Rusty's coming down south to drive that Gatorade car. We came down together like the Clampetts, man. You know what I mean? Here I am in my old 76 GMC pickup truck. That truck was so bad, I'd pull in and I'd say, check the oil, because it was so bad. And I just ended up working down here. And then my dad called me up and said, hey, I want you to come back home. Man, there's a whole long story there. Moved back, 1986.
Wait.
Yep.
You skipped over how you became crew chief. So you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you got hired. Joe called you.
Yep.
Come work on this car. You go down there, and now you're working in the shop, right?
Yep.
Buddy Parrott was the crew chief?
Nope.
Who was the crew chief?
Suitcase Jake. Jake Elder.
Jake Elder was the crew chief.
Of course he
Yep.
was.
That's how
I
you became.
skipped that area. I skipped that on purpose. So I'll be the one that says it. Jake was a brilliant mind,
Yeah.
but mean, man.
Really?
Buddy, your dad could imitate him.
Mm-hmm.
So if you cocked Suitcase Jake wrong at all, he'd grab you by the collar and say, boy, listen what I'm trying to tell you in that southern accent. And, buddy, you'd listen.
Oh, yeah.
Like that. So the reason he was called Suitcase Jake is because he had just always had enough.
Yeah.
Just always had a little bit, just something a little bit. But, man, he was a brilliant mind. I mean, he literally could take it, and this is true. This is no exaggeration. He could take and sit his ass on a spring and go up and down and go, put this one in.
What?
Oh, he would. I'm telling you. Anybody that in that era
Has the perfect rebound.
they know. Oh, well, back then you'd get a big spring, right? Called be a BP 900, BP 1200, and you'd take a torch and you'd cut it every inch, and then you'd rate it to get it to where he wanted it.
Yeah.
Okay, so he left or they fired him. I don't remember.
Right.
They looked at me and said, "Hey, you're going to be the crew chief." I went, "Me? Oh my!" So here I am.
How old were you?
17, 18 years old.
Oh, my God.
Here I am on the pit box in NASCAR.
Right.
You hadn't been working for Ruttman a year, right? I mean,
No,
was this the
months.
same? Just months.
Months.
And now you're.
And he leaves. Suitcase Jake leaves. Hey, I'm going to tell you what. Dale Inman, to tell you the truth, because I only went 1 through 12. I mean, to this day, I'm like 6, 7, 8, 9, 9. I'm not. I'm an overachiever. I'm not real smart. I'm street smart.
Yeah.
You know the way I knew how to call pit stops in '84?
How?
I'd go to Dale Inman before the race or any great crew chief, and I would say, "Hey, when y'all gonna pit?" Swear to God. I didn't
Yeah.
because I'm brand new in NASCAR.
Oh, my God. You're brand new at everything.
We're going to Pocono, man.
Hold on. You're going to pit on what lap?
I swear to God, that's what I do. I'd literally overachiever, man. Pocono. I'm thinking to myself, and when I said, man, I think, oh my God, Rusty does that. Anytime I act like Rusty, make sure you tell me.
Okay.
It's fine. But I just want to know. So I go to Pocono, and boy, we're running good. And I could always set a chassis up pretty good. Rusty taught me. So there we are. And I go up to him, and I said, Emmett, I said, Dale, he was always good to me. I said, when y'all going to pit? Lap 30 or something like that. I said, okay. Sure enough, lap 30, come down. Anyway, to this day, one situation that haunts me in my NASCAR crew chief career. We lead this whole damn race. 1984, so look it up. We're leading the whole race, and just a little bit of smoke the whole race. Just a little. Now, we're not getting black flags, so that tells you it's a whisper. Run the damn thing out of oil leading the race. And I literally walked back. It's my fault. I should have just pitted him and put some oil in, but I wasn't thinking, hell, I'm running this thing out of oil. Dry sump tanks in the back of the car back in those days, or maybe we hadn't left front corner. Could just stop and put some oil in it. But that's the way
you would have lost the race. But you didn't want to. I mean, you were leading.
Yeah, well, the car.
You're too hard on yourself. This was a hard one.
How many races did you crew chief?
All of them.
What?
Till the very end.
Why did you stop?
I stopped because they they fired Joe and
When the Morgan
put in
Shepherd-
LD Ottinger.
LD Ottinger.
What a name, right?
Yeah.
LD. He would never chop.
Why did they fire Joe? Was so good. What was it about him that was didn't allow him to attain something very long term?
You are a brilliant mind because you ask really good questions, and the reason I'm saying this is because I agree with you. Joe would not just drive the race car, and if Joe's watching this, he knows that I care for him. Joe wouldn't just drive the race car; he wanted to run the damn team.
Right.
And when you try to run the damn teams, car owner can fire you right away.
Who was the owner?
Yeah.
Who's the owner?
Benfield, Dr. Benfield, but I forgot his first name.
Yeah.
Do you know?
It wasn't Ron. That was another driver.
And not
but-
Henry.
Henry Benfield.
Oh my God, what a man!
All right, so they put LD in the car, and
Put
you
LD
were like,
in there.
I'm gonna
Well,
go do something else. LD was a pretty good little racer.
I think the year started. I can't exactly remember. I know my dad was calling me up.
What do he want you to do?
I think my dad missed me. I really do. He wanted me to come back to St. Louis, and offered me something like $25,000 a year to come back.
Which was a lot of money.
Hey, it's like Schrader says, Herm, we do what we got to do. I mean, it's crazy because back then I didn't even care about money. It's like, what do we need money for? I just did what the hell I wanted to do. When you love something enough and you're going and doing, money's like secondary.
But it's going to be hard for people listening to go, wait, you're in Cup. Now you're going back home. You move. Why are you moving back to St. Louis? You made
Yeah.
it. You're in the Cup.
Yeah,
you're a crew chief.
It's the same reason I quit a lucrative TV job. It wasn't no fun anymore. So, you know what? Wow, this is good stuff. So Harry Hyde calls me up, and he's wanting me to come to work for him and be the crew chief the next year.
Oh, yeah.
But Rusty had done wrecked Jeff Bodine at the Southern 500, and it flipped Bodine, flipped him over.
Uh-huh.
So Harry Hyde knew that I was a good crew chief, and he had that little guy there that helped put the car together. My eyes are going around right now because I'm trying to. I remember everything perfectly. So then Jeff Bodine puts a squash to that because him and Rusty hate each other. I have paid a bad price in NASCAR early because a lot of people didn't like Rusty. They didn't like Rusty, so I was his brother.
Oh, yeah.
So that was it. And then, I didn't go to work there. My dad called me up, come back. And but it was good timing, Junior, because when I went back, that's when I became a race car driver.
It all worked out.
It worked out.
It worked out. Hey, but did that cause? I got to ask. If Rusty was preventing you from going to work at Hendrick Motorsports,
and Rusty didn't-
not prevent you. I'm sorry, I misspoke. If that was hindering you, the reputation that Rusty was developing as a racer
Yes.
was hindering your. Did you develop any animosity, or was it ever any friction between you and Rusty?
Never. And that needs to be told. And a lot of people think it's corny because I tell somebody I love my mom. She's pretty tough. Quit saying you love people. I'm like, well,
No, you gotta love people.
But
Love people.
I love Rusty, and I love Mike to death. They were good for me. They spoiled me ass right. Now, Rusty pissed me off a lot, crushed me. I mean, Rusty would be so damn mean to me. But later on, I realized, he meant good for me. I mean, if it weren't for Rusty, I would have never made it to NASCAR.
I agree with that.
Right. No, I was never mad at Rusty.
Yeah.
Because one thing I learned at early life is that Rusty was so, great athletes are so damn laser focused. They see nothing around them except what they want to do. But I tell you, I realized that only about 5 years ago.
Oh.
It's not till I got in my 50s where I realized, hey, that's why he was a prick, because he knew, you know what I mean? So a lot of people don't like my brother, because he's very forthright. It took me to be 50-something years, because I watched his interview here. It's not that Rusty, now don't let me change here, but it's
okay.
not that Rusty didn't like Jeff Gordon. It's just that, Rusty's the man.
Yeah.
How dare you think you're going to,
Sure.
be. I'm the man, not you.
I thought he was very honest about that point.
Yes.
Rusty admitted, he's like, look, it was ego. It was him and Earnhardt's time.
Yes.
He wanted to be Earnhardt, and this kid shows up and messes up what he had in mind.
You got it.
Yeah, he admitted that, though. I thought it was pretty big.
And one thing I want to put in Rusty's mouth for him is that your dad, Dale Sr. was Rusty's God. If there was a picture being taken, Rusty made sure he was by your dad. And there's an old saying, every man, your dad was a man. Everybody wanted to be Dale Sr. Well, so did Rusty. So, that's the only time I've ever seen my brother. I always say there's only a couple people that Rusty listened to. Roger Penske, well, probably Patty first, his wife. Patty, Roger Penske, and Dale Sr.
Yeah.
But I never had any animosity towards Rusty. There's times I wanted to, he crushed me, hurt my feelings. I think the biggest thing that hurt me was that great drivers, and I put this on Twitter and I said it to you, great drivers just don't understand why you're not great. Rusty wanted me to be good so bad. And damn it, I was trying. That's all I had, I never had any animosity towards any of my brothers. Now, they pissed me off. I wanted to kill them. But later on, I got over
brothers.
it.
Yeah. You moved home, and when you moved back home to St. Louis after your little stint in Cup Series, you said you moved back and became a race car driver.
Yeah.
And I've seen pictures of you driving Rusty's ASA car, the yellow and red 66. Is that the car you went home to drive?
No, and I can see how that's a little wrong. Never
Help
drove
me.
this. No, you're close. What I did is I stole Rusty's exact paint job and put 36 on it.
And put it on someone else's car.
Put it on my car.
You had your own car.
So I moved. One of the reasons I moved back to St. Louis is because a guy named John Childs. I literally called him up and said, John, I want to be a race car driver. Will you help me?
Childs on the side of the car.
Childs Tire. Childs Tire was a group of brothers that owned some tire stores. And that group, they helped Rusty. Rusty, I tell you right now, we would not be where we're at without John Childs Tire. So I'll never forget it. I go out to John's. I said, man, I need help, da-da-da. He says he's going to help me. I mean, I'm euphoric. I'm over the top. I'm going to be a race car driver. I leave and I stop at this Waffle House, and there's a payphone there. And I call Kim up at the time, and I said, Kim, I'll be a race car driver. Oh, my God, it was the most exciting thing in my life because I thought up until then, how do you become a race car driver? Well, I mean, how the hell am I going to pay $20,000 for a motor? I can't even fan these numbers at the time. I mean, I want to be a race car driver, and I have nothing. I'm living in an apartment. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was John Childs Tire. My dad put up a $10,000 CD that he saved up his whole life, put it up for collateral. I borrowed money to buy an old newspaper truck. And so I bought the newspaper truck, turned it into a hauler. My wife, Kim, bought my very first Dillon trailer. So borrowed money to buy the truck. Kim bought the trailer. She's working at a cafeteria. John Childs helps me with the car. And we're off and running.
You're off and
What
running.
kind of car? Was it a used car?
A Dillon.
Brand new Dillon or
Brand
used
new
car?
Dillon car, yeah. And that was where John came in, John Childs.
And so you got this car.
Yeah.
And now you're going to go race.
Yeah.
Right? What'd you run?
I ran 1986 ASA, American Speed Association. And ASA was the NASCAR.
That was legit.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, super legit.
Yeah,
I mean, that's where you started, basically.
Some deep waters.
Yeah, I moved up to. It's kind of funny because when I look back, I went, "Oh my gosh, I went big time right away."
You did.
And I think that Rusty gave me some shortcuts there, gave me some great setups. I'd wait. I mean, stop and think about it. I don't start racing until I got in my first real race car. Now in '82, I ran that old hobby car.
Right.
'82. I don't start racing till I'm 22 years old. My very first time in a race car. So, and I went right to ASA. Won Rookie of the Year against Gary St. Amant. Wasn't good. I always say there's a difference between being good and great. You're a great talent. I don't have the talent you have. You got great talent. I could tell that right away. I followed you at a practice session at Gateway. And you come off the corner feeding it out to the wall loose. and you probably didn't know you were loose. But I had to learn that.
Yeah.
I asked my brother Rusty one time, I said, how you drive a car loose? He says, well, he said, you feed it out to the wall, because it starts to come around. And you did that off of turn 4. You don't even remember it. But you're a good talent.
Thank you.
You're a good race car driver.
Thank you.
Yep.
So you run an ASA series, win Rookie of the Year.
Yep.
All right. How long did you run an ASA series?
86,
86, 87?
87, and 88.
And so what were those other 2 years like for you?
Good, learning how to drive a race car. I mean, I'm not defending myself, but you guys said it. Stop and think about it. I don't drive anything. I don't drive a hobby car, nothing. I get into the highest form of racing, ASA.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're talking Mark Martin, Dick Trickle,
Yeah.
Bob Seneca, Mike Eddy. These are the greatest drivers of all time. And I go in and now I'm competitive because I knew the setups. Because I'm with Rusty helping him. So I could build a good car, I knew all these little idiosyncrasies. One Rookie of the Year, I remember Howie Leto telling me that 87 was my best year. We lost Howie. But 87, 88, just learn to be a race car driver.
What were you doing during the week? Still working on vacuums at all?
Still working on vacuum cleaners. And Dad,
And that was a family business.
Uncle Gary.
Uncle Gary.
Let it be known, wherever the damn cameras, whether it's plural, we had no money, okay? Doesn't it piss you off when people think you're shot in the ass with diamonds growing up as a kid? I mean, it's like if you only damn knew.
Right.
Like Kelly posting that damn picture, that single wide mobile home. I'm like, you don't get it. People, all Rusty says something perfect. You like that, didn't you?
Yes.
Because they think since you're Dale Sr.'s boy that you just got all this money in the world. You got to remind them how broke ass you were.
Yeah.
People need to have knowledge. Rusty told me one day, he says, Herm, it's sad to say you got to remind people because they remember what they want to. So mind you, I mean, we're broke ass growing up, as kids. And hell, I remember I had an Amoco credit card, and they took it from me because
Amoco?
Amoco,
Amoco, gotcha.
gas card.
Amoco gas card.
Yeah. So they took it from me because I couldn't pay it. I never do business with them again.
Yeah.
They should have known I didn't have any money.
What's their problem? Did you win in
That
ASA?
Amoco White 93 was some good stuff.
Amoco, Dave Blaney.
Yes, that freaking
No,
fuel
that
was
is a
amazing.
Pure,
So that
pretty car.
You hit a nerve just now.
I asked you
Yeah.
if you'd won in ASA, and you said no.
Two things I'll go to my grave with. Got close. Never won in ASA and never won in the Cup Series. Just devastate me to this
Really?
day. Oh gosh, run second 3 times in Cup.
Yeah.
And all 3 of those a hell of a story. But
Yeah.
Well, I don't even remember the damn question you asked me.
Well, we were just talking.
We're talking about ASA. I mean, because this is fascinating how you
Broke.
but your climb through the ranks was rapid.
You get an opportunity to run in your first Xfinity or Busch National race for the purists. They like to be called Busch. They don't want you to call Xfinity racing Xfinity when it's not Xfinity back then.
What is the deal? Can we talk about this for a moment?
People are very particular.
What is? I'm going to ask you, because you know history better than anybody.
Yeah.
What is the difference between Busch, Nationwide, and Xfinity?
Well, there's some differences, but Xfinity, I say Xfinity when I'm talking about 1989 for the new people.
I do the same thing.
Yeah.
To me, there's no difference.
No. So
There's
that
not.
the new people know that this was Xfinity back then, right? Well, is Xfinity today.
Thank you.
This was the Xfinity. Because if I say to a new fan that's only been watching the sport for a couple of years, if I go, man, back in the Sportsman series, they're like,
What is that?
well, is that good, bad? What is it? Sportsman, what is that? Street stock? They don't know. So,
Yes.
yeah.
That's a fair point.
So
too.
I
That's
always say
understandable, yeah.
I'm the same as you, Junior.
Yeah.
I say when I was in the Xfinity series, and they're like, you was in the Busch series, I'm like,
I know.
it's the same thing.
Yeah, they get it. They get frustrated.
Yeah.
So how did you get this opportunity to drive Dad's car at Martinsville? You're racing ASA. You're living up in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Obviously, Rusty's racing in Cup. Dad
Right.
and Rusty are becoming friends.
Right.
But how does Dad know you? Did Rusty go, hey, check
Oh,
out my
man.
buddy?
Great story. So Rusty, deep down, really wants to help me.
Yeah, of course.
And now he's making a little bit of money, right? I mean, remember, we come from St. Louis down south as the Clampetts. I mean, we're bringing our furniture and everything. Rusty starts making money, becomes really good friends with your dad. Your dad recognizes that Rusty's got talent. And my brother Rusty tells your dad, man, I wish I could help Herman. He's back there in St. Louis working on vacuum cleaners and running that ASA car. And so Rusty got hooked up with Cox Treated Lumber, okay? And, I mean, stop and think about it. This is where I owe my brother Rusty my life, really. Rusty and Patty think they have the brain that, hey, I'm going to call Herman up, and we're going to start an Xfinity team. Mm-hmm. I mean, stop and think about that. They're going to build a building for me and everything. But at the time, NASCAR would not allow any driver to go to Daytona and just show up.
Right.
So I had never in my life drove anything in NASCAR. The only way I could go to Daytona, now remember, Rusty's going to build this team, okay? And the only way I'm going to be able to go to Daytona and run for Rookie of the Year or a championship is NASCAR's got to see me. Your dad tells Rusty, let's put Herman in my number 8 GM Goodrich Chevrolet.
Wow.
Talk about freaked out, man.
Right.
So I come down to V8 Road in Kannapolis, North Carolina. The Uris are there. You know, Tony Senior's there.
Yeah.
And I come in, and I mean,
This is a shop next to Mamaw's house.
That's right.
there
This is
I am.
Before DEI.
That's right.
And what I mean, you know this. You know, I would never think I don't. But I mean, I go in there, right? And I'm like, I mean, this shop is. I'm already saying what you know. I'm just telling the people.
Sure.
This shop is stuck in time.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we're running up-to-date cars, but this steering wheel from 1956 is hanging in the rafters.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it was like you looked up and it was a time warp. You looked down and we're in modern era.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Oh, yeah.
Because this was Ralph Earnhardt's garage.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's cool because
Very cool.
I like, because you got a lot of your daddy in you where he liked live, right? He would never take the steering wheel off the race car forever. He wanted to climb in to simulate old days. Mm-hmm. And I like that, you know, you're rebuilding that car here. And so I go to V8 Road, and here I am putting my ASA seat in the number 8 GM Goodrich Chevrolet. Ronnie Hopkins builds this car. It's got different type trailing arms underneath it. Anyway, we go to Martinsville, we test. And it fast forward, and I go to Martinsville, drive hard. I don't know where I finished. It was okay.
Yeah.
12th maybe. And NASCAR watched me. They still wouldn't approve me. So Rusty starts the team. Robert Black, the fly in my ear. So Robert Black is the leader of the Busch Series back
Yeah,
then.
technical director.
Yeah, for some reason, he taunted me.
He taunted Daddy, too.
Sounds like a real
Hickory,
peach of a
North
guy.
Carolina. Well, there was that group up there. So anyway, he come down to David Iff's shop. So we couldn't build a shop right away. So my brother Rusty talked to David Iff, and David Iff was wonderful for me. Lake Wiley, South Carolina. Robert Black would come into that shop, and I'm testing, and he'd literally say, well, this car ain't running Daytona. In that southern twang, and I wanted to knock him out. And I come from St. Louis where we cuss like sailors, and we're ready to fight at any time. And I'm working on the car. I'm a fabricator / race car driver. And Robert Black comes down and looks at that car and he goes, "This car ain't running Daytona." I mean, just destroys me.
Sure.
Why? Well, what happened? I mean, not why
He
did
was
it destroy
taunting
you?
me.
No, but what did he say was wrong with it?
No, he didn't think I was ready.
Oh, he didn't think you were ready.
Yeah, but I'm
Nothing's
glad you
wrong with
asked
the car.
it that way. So he didn't think I was ready.
Okay.
So I call up Les Richter. God, I can't believe I'm remembering these names.
Yeah.
So Les Richter was the Mac Daddy back then.
Yeah.
He was the Mike Helton, so to speak.
Absolutely.
I think
For
I'm right.
NASCAR. Yep.
So listen to me pop my knuckles.
It's all right. Yeah.
Sorry.
Good pop in there.
So I go down there, and this car is hauling ass. We got this thing cheated up so bad. We lengthened the ass of this Pontiac. We suck it in 2 inches. We nicknamed it the 2 + 2 + 2.
I remember that.
Oh, Toucan.
Yes.
Toucan was a great fabricator, and that thing looked like a football. And I sat on the pole, 192.7. I'll never forget it, 46 point something. And anyway, they finally approved me. they made us spend all that money. Had to keep going Daytona. I kept practicing, come down Pitt Road. And they finally approved me to run Daytona. And went there.
What was it about guys like Robert Black and other people back then that would walk? They knew to walk in that shop and say that because they knew how much of a dagger that was going to be into your soul. You ain't running Daytona. Like, why even walk in there and do that in the middle of the damn day, in the middle of the off season when you're in there working your ass off? It seemed like that was common back then. In the 90s, Tony Sr., my dad even
wanted to rough you up.
Oh, man, they would rough you up. They'd come in there and look at your car and say some shit about it. You'd be like, why you got to say that?
Exactly.
Just messing with you.
So Junior, I listen, I would never want to be a crew member again. These guys that in the Cup Series, man, have at it.
Yeah.
Meeting in the lobby at 4:35 in the morning. And I did that. And I wanted to do it, right? So I'd get to these Cup garage areas. I mean, you're going in, it's dark. It's like, I'm not a farmer. What the hell are we doing? You know what I mean?
I'm not a farmer.
So we'd get in there at 6 in the morning, and what was those two brothers' name? Gazaways. One of them had a big belly. The other one's kind of skinny.
Yeah.
Well, the one that had the bill, Bill was the, I forgot. Anyway, this is accurate and true. He looked at me, and I had the car on jack stands, the Cup car, Joe Ruttman driving, and I'm the crew chief. And he'd look at me, and he'd say, boy, get my car up higher so I can get underneath of it. And I'm like, can't you say, hey, Kenny, can you get the car up higher? My belly's too big.
Yeah.
No.
That's not what he
boy, get my car up higher. And I just ate crow, man.
He called it your car, his car.
Yes.
My car.
Yeah.
Yes. Every car in NASCAR
was
Gazaway's. He had pissed people off knowing every car back in the 70s was his car. Mm-hmm. I'm like, dude, I built this son of a bitch. It's not your car.
Yeah. I got a question. Are we talking, if you're talking about 1986, he ran that number 8 Goodwrench car. Are we talking about the same car that's in the back here?
No.
Dale? Different car.
Yeah. The next car. After the car I'm restoring is the Nova. He drove the next one.
The next one.
Yeah,
Got it.
The Monte Carlo.
Forgot who it was because I got brain fade right now. By the word brain fade, I steal that from Mark Martin.
Yeah.
A couple people told me to tell you, and I'm talking good people, like people that they love what you're doing. Mm. They love what you're doing.
Thank you.
Good job.
Yeah, appreciate it. So you go and run that race. You go run the race at Martinsville. You go run your first Rookie of the Year in the Xfinity Series
in '89.
So, how are the cars driving? How did you enjoy driving in Xfinity?
Loose. Oh.
Sideways.
10-degree spoiler. And, just take your eyeballs and look left, and you're turning. Literally, I can still feel it. Do like this and go into the corner. I'll never forget, sit on the pole, and Rusty was so much fun back then. He was proud of me. And he said to me, Russ said, how'd you learn that line? Because like Dale Jarrett, he'd take that Nestle car and he'd go to the bottom, and he'd stay right around that line. My quit cussing, kid.
No, you're
fine. Okay.
I was so loose that I couldn't keep it down there. It would spin out, so I just go down there, and I'd go up with it, and then once I'd get up, it'd come back down. I'm wide open the whole time. But Rusty says, "Where'd you learn that line? Why are you running that line?" I said, when I was a kid, I'd watch Wide World of Sports, and that's where Cale Yarborough ran. True story.
Sure.
I always tell people, I say, Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Chase Elliott, the reason they're naturally good, I said, I totally believe when you're a kid and you spend your time around sport, like you watched, you're a study of the sport.
Sure.
I think you and Chase, I think you sucked it in.
Observing.
That's true. I believe that. Like your favorite baseball player, you try to stand there, do their batting stance and their swing. I remember Andre Dawson. That was somebody you try to emulate, and you do it in a game, and it wouldn't work like Andre Dawson did.
I agree.
But yeah, I believe that's probably true. You're emulating those that you look up to.
Right.
Their style.
And for some reason, in St. Louis, you get Wild World. You couldn't watch NASCAR, but you could watch the Daytona 500.
Yeah.
So I run that line because I was afraid to turn left, and I watched Cale do it, and I just, it's like asking a great driver, how do you drive? It's like, I don't know how I drive.
Do you look at those years driving that Cox treated lumber car as your favorite years in racing? What are your favorite years?
Ben, absolutely glory years for my life.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Why?
89, 90, 91, because it was innocent. And you know, it wasn't that we ran all the short tracks. It was that we were innocent. We just went racing, and we beat the crap out of each other. And, you know, you'd get 1 foot up to his left rear, and you had to stay there, knowing that he was going to come down. And like, oh, here we go. You know, we're and Myrtle Beach was your wheelhouse. You know, you come down that dog leg front straightaway, and you'd work for 10 laps to just get 1 foot on his left rear.
Yeah.
And when you got there, say, buddy, you're going to come down, and I'm here. He'd come down, and you just destroy your and you'd go back to the shop. And it was the glory years because even NASCAR was so innocent. You know, we'd all go to the Sandwich Construction Company, and you know, the reason those truly were the glory years is because even the crew members, you know, you'd go to the hotel and you'd take your cooler. I mean, we're talking up to 89. In the 90s, you would take a cooler of beer back to the hotel.
Yeah. Just hang out at the hotel with all the teams.
And all the teams would come out of the rooms. Now, this is not olden days. I mean, this is up into the 90s.
Yeah.
And chocolate and, you know, a whole bunch. We just start drinking beer, you know, and it was fun. And then the rest of my NASCAR career is I need therapy for.
Where did it turn? Where was the turning point? When did it become not so innocent?
Now, I mean this. I appreciate Felix Sabates. I love him because he's that in my. So I was good. I was winning. And Felix wanted to hire me because I was winning. And I went and drove his Xfinity car and won right away. And then when we went to Cup in 93, it was, and we've made up since, it was me against Jeff Hammond. Mm-hmm. And you know the way it is, it's a dog-eat-dog sport. So I wasn't running good, and it was either me or Jeff. And Jeff convinced Felix it was me, and maybe it was me. But, you know, me and Jeff Hammond and Felix were all lovers now. But it destroyed me. So he fired me. I mean, fired me. Stop and think about that. Mm. You don't fire Kenny Wallace. And somebody just fired me. Crushed me. And you know, and when he fired me, I feel like, you know, that put that cloud on me. You know, that, he's damaged goods. He doesn't have talent.
Right.
You know, thank God for Filbert Martasi in Nashville, Tennessee. Yep. Because the next year I go drive a Busch car and win again. 3, you know, win all the big races.
Now, who is this?
Filbert Martasi. So there was a group out of Nashville, Tennessee. Gil Martin, Newt Moore. These guys are talented, and I'll never forget it. When Felix Sabates fired me, I was completely distraught, devastated, and me and Rusty get on the airplane. We got to go to Nashville, and I said, Rusty, can I fly with you? He had to go there for something, and I met with Felix. It was funny because I'll never forget it. They thought I was so talented. They thought I was coming there to try to get a job for my brother Mike, is what Gil told me. But no, I went there because I wanted to drive their car because Jeff Burton drove that car.
That's right.
And that thing was fast. Broke all the time, but was fast. Mm. So I just stayed digging, and I tried to resurrect my career. So, you know, that's probably one reason I moved back to St. Louis. As much as I love you and your sister in North Carolina,
yeah,
you know, and I'm very conflicted because I love NASCAR because it put a lot of money in my pocket. I'm good at saving money. I saved a lot of money, hating it the whole damn time. Hating it. Yeah. You know?
I understand that.
Hated it.
I know what you mean. Yeah. I know because money doesn't bring happiness.
I had to get out of here, man. This very toxic area.
You just want to be happy.
Yeah, I want to be like him. I want to hang out with my buddies. I go back to St. Louis, and them guys don't give a crap. They just want to. My buddies, they'd come to Bristol, and they go, "Man, be careful. This looks dangerous."
Yeah.
My crew members like, "I don't care if you kill yourself." Truly.
Yeah.
We get another damn driver. My buddies, they cared about me.
There are similarities between you guys on that because, with him having the concussions, he wasn't telling anybody really, but, it became unfun. And if you guys are going to sit there, you got two choices. You can, keep making money, but that is,
No.
it's going to end up just, sucking the joy right out of anything.
Oh.
Yeah.
A lot of
Make
people
sure-
try to live that.
Make
that
sure we
way.
don't stop because this is really good for me right now.
I want to ask you about something. When you lived in North Carolina, you had a dirt go-kart track behind your house. I heard
Glory years.
I heard so many good stories about that.
Oh, so much fun.
You almost might have been an inspiration for me making my own dirt track
Well,
at my house.
Yeah, I got goosebumps right now.
Yeah.
Because you're reminding me of the glory days. True, innocently happy. So, me and my cousin Timmy, I had some bricks left over. So I had this double wide mobile home, and we tried to make it look like a house. So we pinned it in brick. So I had these bricks left over. I said, Timmy, let's go out back and make us a go-kart track. So we took bricks and went around, and we'd run around those bricks. And then, we started trying to get it better and better. Where your dad, remember, you were a kid. Do you remember Gene Deese?
Yes.
So your dad, and I'll let that, well, it was funny. They'd get in that. I learned at an early age that the dirt is not expensive. It's the dump truck.
Yes. The water
Your
truck.
dad and Gene Deese would fill up that damn thing with dirt and bring me dirt and keep bringing me dirt and keep bringing me dirt. Well, Tony Earnhardt Jr. and Sr., and they know Charlie Springs. They called him Springer. Springer worked on your dad's car back in the old days, I learned. Springer had a tractor. I started carving out this dirt track. And your dad kept bringing me dirt. And I'm thinking, holy crap. Dale Sr.'s bringing me dirt. And so, and then we got serious. And then come the Tillotson carburetors and boards. And
Yeah.
I started putting the boards along them because we started jumping wheels and flipping.
Yeah.
And then it got out of hand.
You had to shut her down.
Literally, the next day, back up real quick. Steve Bird, wonderful crew chief. Birdie made me a winner. We're at Hickory, and we're running a bush race. Big deal. I have to go to the bathroom. I go to the bathroom. Birdie, on his own, takes these flyers. Go-kart race at Kenny Wallace's house. I'm like, Birdie.
Oh, wow.
So we have Brooks and Dunn, Don the Snake Perdome. Junior, I'm serious. Thousands of people
Showed up to your house.
I got a ticket from the city of Concord, North Carolina, the next day because I never
Had a permit.
Right. You're holding an event.
These people are lined up down Odell School Road up 73. And I'll never
It's like
forget-
Woodstock.
Bobby Labonte's there. Jeff Gordon's there. Everybody's there. And I'm like, uh-oh. Well, guy flips. I think it was Bob Wall. I think it was Daryl's brother, but maybe not. But the next day, now we're back to being serious. Now we're back at the Charlotte Motor Speedway where we're focused.
Working.
Kid comes up to me. True and accurate story. Kid comes up to me, says, hey, he said, man, I hurt my back. You got any insurance? I went, oh. My balls got that big. I'm thinking, my brain's calculating. I'm like, no. We're having fun at a go-kart track. You get hurt, that's your deal. I had the smarts. I literally called Ronald Overcash. Ronald was the guy around here back then. I said, Ronald, bring your bulldozer and mow my go-kart track down. What? Kenny Wallace, that's the most famous thing in Concord. I said, mow it down. I was getting ready to get sued because people were coming to my damn go-kart track and hurting themselves. And I had to grow up hurry. And that was a sad day where you have to grow up.
That track was legendary.
It was fast.
Did you ever go there?
No, but I was
heard about
young. I'd heard about it, though.
Yeah.
So I built me a go-kart track, and same thing. We
love
raced and flipped and had a couple scares, and people should have gotten hurt but didn't.
Yeah,
And
you
then
got lucky
Then I
with
had to
that.
throw some seed on that son of a gun and let her eat, let her grow up.
Is it that sad? Well, and you bring up a good point, grow up. That's sad.
Yeah,
And that's life.
that's the way it is.
What a bummer.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, and then we went slot car racing.
Yes.
Dave Mater the third,
Good
still
racer.
still racing.
Is he?
Yeah, he's wherever he's at. Where's Dave Mater at? He's racing right now.
In Alabama?
Dave Mater still runs some super late model
You're
races.
right.
And
Alabama. He's
Alabama.
down there racing and winning. But at one point, he lived in Mooresville, and he owned a little building on Main Street, or Broad Street, across from Main Street, and he had a slot car track in there, and I go in there, and I was racing street stocks, probably 1994, and Kenny would be in there.
Serious, man. I was
Just
focused.
playing.
We're winning.
Oh, we were hard. It was hard freaking go. I still got my box with all my shit in it.
My tires are hard now.
Oh, yeah.
But I got mine too.
None of it works, but I still got all of that crap.
Me too. I love that time, and I'm going to be honest with you. I told you this is therapy for me. What's cool about me and you is we're distant friends, but we're real friends.
Yeah.
I just leave you alone. But I care about you a lot. Back then is what I remember. And here's what I remember, and it's okay to tell. You quit coming. And I looked at you and I said, why aren't you racing slot cars anymore? And you says, Daddy thinks that's child's play.
Oh, man.
And I went,
Yep.
bummer.
He gave me a hard time about it.
Why? What was that about?
Because he didn't want me to do anything.
Because you had just started racing. Is that what you're saying?
I
You
just
were running
started.
street stock.
Just started, yeah.
Yeah.
And he just was like, if you aren't working on your car, or
I went the same thing with Rusty.
yeah.
Anytime I try to laugh, Rusty'd say, I don't like that damn laugh. Quit laughing. I'm like, okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was fun. That slot car track was a lot of fun.
It was.
Whataburger right across the street.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's perfect. Too bad.
That was kind of sad.
Too bad,
like I
so
said,
sad.
Well, if
baby.
y'all still all have all your, you guys have your slot car stuff still.
I
just go ahead
put
and
so
get
much.
it out.
I spent my own damn money on that. You
Yeah.
damn right. I'm gonna keep
Did you
it.
start
Yeah.
to say did not?
No,
I'll say it on
he'll
here.
say it. Yeah.
I-
he doesn't check himself.
I
on here.
mean, I spent my own money.
Right.
Then I was working. I was working at Allison Brothers building Legends cars or
Right,
whatever. You know.
right.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep that.
That was a good time.
Yeah.
I have my slot car box.
too.
And I looked through it maybe 2-3 years ago, and I noticed that the tires were dry rotted.
Yeah.
But boy, I was focused back then. You could get a controller to, make the car go quick or
Yeah.
ease in and
Like a digressive throttle.
yeah. And Dave Mater, who's literally a great race car driver, should probably be in some type of Hall of Fame. Mater's really good.
Oh yeah.
But he made it to where, you could win, like, if you won the A main, you get like $15. He wouldn't give you money. He'd give you credit on parts. So you'd go up there and race. And, to me, I was so focused on being a NASCAR driver. That was my getaway.
It's a hobby. Yeah.
I'd go up there on Tuesday nights, and it cleared my mind. And I'd race all night long. It was fun. It was good. You know how these kids nowadays,
It's like playing video games, hand-eye coordination.
Yeah. Thank you. That's what it was. I had to do it
Wow.
right. Yeah.
Yep.
See, that's all you had to do is explain to your dad the benefits to it.
Yep.
He would have understood, right?
So tell us about getting into dirt racing with Kenny Schrader.
Yeah.
Well,
Why'd you? Obviously, you probably got he's like, hey man, you should try this. You should try my car. Come drive my car. Come have some fun.
no.
No.
He never did. What it was is I was like you, where I loved history. And when I grew up I was born in 1963, my gods were A.J. Foyt. Of course, then you'd hear about Mario Andretti. So I would fly with Schrader. I didn't have any money. Schrader had the big airplane, and I started flying with Kenny Schrader. And this has nothing to do with it, but I'll never forget it. Schrader, back then, if you had a briefcase, you was a big-time NASCAR driver. I remember I carried a briefcase one time just trying to be big-time. It ain't nothing else to the story, but, you monkey see, monkey do,
Yeah.
I carried me a suitcase or briefcase.
Yeah.
You know
Had a
what?
couple pins in there.
Yeah.
Didn't have anything in it.
Dick Trickle, one time he opened up his briefcase, I swear to God, true story, had like candy in there.
Yeah, Reese's cups.
I swear to God.
And underwear.
So Schrader, I'm on Schrader's airplane. And let me be clear about this. Kenny Schrader is one of the greatest race car drivers of all time in dirt racing. He's won everything there is to win. He should be when Schrader pulls into a dirt track these days, they should stop everything and go, ladies and gentlemen, Kenny Schrader. Dude, he's won it all.
Yeah.
And what's cool is when Schrader, and I watch and I learn, when Schrader goes around a lot of these legendary dirt racers nowadays, they know it. And they give him a lot of respect.
Yeah.
Like Schaefer that builds motors. These guys, I watch and I learn, and, Schrader's the best. So I'm flying with Schrader, and he opens up his briefcase, And I'm looking. And he goes, I have 63 licensed vehicles. I'm like, what? Him and your dad would go around Wisconsin just buying vehicles. Well, so we're talking and everything, and he's got that briefcase open. And I see a little bit to do with dirt racing. And I looked at him. I said, teach me how to drive a dirt car. And he says, I'll never forget it. It was like yesterday. He goes, why do you want to run dirt when you're in the highest form of motorsports in the world, NASCAR? And I kind of forgot. I was so engrossed in NASCAR that I forgot it was the best. I mean, you could say Formula One is, but that's the way over there.
Sure.
So go race, get back on the airplane again. I said, Schrader, teach me how to drive a dirt car. He finally looked at me and why do you want to learn to drive dirt car? And I'm thinking to myself, why? And I said, because I don't want to end my career one-dimensional. I want to be like A.J. Foyt and Mario Andretti. When my years are over, I want to be able to, learn how to drive a dirt car. So Kenny Schrader finally buckled and got me a car. It was a Dirt Works modified, great family, and off and running. And then no different than a video machine, I had to keep trying to get high score. And, and this is what I wished I could have done with you. You're too famous. I wasn't, I was popular, but there was a, I had to go through a lot of embarrassing times.
Sure.
And I wouldn't want that on
Get
you
your
either.
butt whooped, yeah.
People would run up to the fence and go, man, let's watch Wallace wreck. Because I was horrible at the start.
What year was this?
06, 07,
Okay, so
08.
yeah, everybody knew Kenny Wallace.
Everybody
knew Kenny Wallace.
I started dirt racing at 41 years old.
Yeah, okay. I got you. Okay.
So I wanted Dale Jr. to run dirt, but I knew he couldn't because he would have to go through this learning period, and you can't do that. It's like you're like Elvis Presley. You try to have fun and people popping fun at you the whole time. Me, I could handle it because, I'm like, you can't do that. Yeah.
Is that why you never wanted to try to run dirt? Is it just because of the learning curve and the way you would just take
It'd be tough. It'd be hard to do.
And I think you'd be good at it because you're really good at driving a cup car loose at 200 mile an hour. Yeah. You don't realize how neutral you drive a car.
When you guys would go do those
You're
paid for
good at it.
appearances, like when you goes, we'd go on those appearances to like, what was the track in Kentucky that you guys? Paducah and that stuff. Is that why you would never run those? Is just because like people would just sit there? And
because
you would embarrass yourself.
Yes, because of I would be bad, and then people would go, "Damn, he's bad."
Yeah,
like because people would think, "Well, he's a race car driver. He's a cup guy. Surely he can get in this thing and just do great, right?"
Yeah, but that's stuff. Yeah.
And you don't.
Biggest misconception in all of auto racing.
Right.
Because people see you on TV, they think you're a god. It's like, no. But, I just got to go back to this because this is the way I am. Me and you were at Caraway, and we had our DEI Cup cars.
Yeah, we were testing. And you can drive a car really neutral. I have to have a car tighter. You would be a good dirt racer. Yeah. Of course, you can't do it now, but you would be a really good dirt racer. Does anybody ever compliment you like I do? No. Well, I'm sure they do, but
yes,
not
they
as,
do.
But I mean,
they
to
do.
your face,
not as much and as genuinely as you do.
Well, because I give
That's true.
specific moments.
Because
he's believable.
He loves me, like he means it.
This is true, Kenny. You're believable. Everybody else,
Yeah.
you just have to wonder if they're kissing your ass.
Listen.
No, I know he really loves me.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying.
So when he's telling me something, I know he's not bullshit.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, but listen. It's when I say something. God, I got something I want to say, but there's no way I could say it here. You just when I say things, I've always learned years ago that you better back it up because people will keep you honest. You know what I mean? So I can give you specific moments why he has talent. A lot of people don't realize when you go down into turn one at Atlanta over that hump at 218, 220, and that bitch lands, it takes your breath away.
Yeah.
And And you talk about me coming up quick. I mean, he ran some late model stocks, and then won Busch Series championships. And,
right.
and that's why I said I think you sucked all your talent through your eyeballs. I think you watched. I think you're it's like electronics. I mean, you're incredible at it. But yeah, you don't realize. Me, I got to turn a wheel like this. You turn a wheel like this. That's my opinion. You're really good.
If it doesn't turn, if I got to turn more than that, I need to. It's tight.
Yeah, right.
If you had to
Pushing.
turn more than that.
Right, exactly.
Wait, I could. Oh no, it's not tight.
That's
I
an
just need
astute
to-
observation.
I need a
though.
smaller steering
and,
box.
And this is not to embarrass Dale Jr., but the observation you have is that he learned what he knew from racing through his eyeballs by basically watching. Because the truth of the matter is that Dale Earnhardt never watched him race at late models. He didn't go to the track and give him instruction. So another misconception is that a lot of the people think that Dale Earnhardt would have taught him everything he knows. I don't know that that's to be the case. I think he was maybe pouring dirt in your backyard or something.
And I want to tell you something about that. So Rusty, my brother Rusty, one of the greatest race car drivers, because Rusty's even good on dirt. Rusty's just damn good. So at Martinsville, one of the reasons I was so successful at Martinsville, I finally looked at Rusty one day, and I don't even think I looked at him. I think he looked at me, and he said, "Herman." I said, "Yeah, brother." He says, "Make the car stay on the damn bottom. Make the left front run on the curb." I was like, "Oh," because back then I would just go in and go with it.
Yeah.
If I couldn't stay on the bottom, I just went up the track.
Right.
Rusty taught me so much about that particular track. And he said, make the left front see the curb. So I started, people say, "Herman, why are you so good at Richmond?" I said, "Because I'm making the left front follow the yellow line as fast as I can go."
Yeah.
And it's like I told you on Twitter, when people are really good, how do they teach you? So that's why I say, I think you observed it through your eyes.
Have you ever asked Rusty to drive your dirt car?
No, because he always made fun of me.
Well, why don't you ask him? Because Rusty acts like, and Rusty said this on the show. He's like, I felt like I retired too soon. They told me I should probably retire, and I was like, okay, maybe I'll retire. And then I got retired, and I was like, I ain't ready to retire. I want to race some more, right? And he even goes and tells Jimmy Johnson, "Don't retire till you're ready to retire. All this retirement talk, you damn drive as long as you want. Make sure you get it out of your system," because his own experience, right? He probably had a couple more years that he needed to run that he didn't run, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's interesting to me that you race dirt, you enjoy it. Rusty, I see him around. He could get in a race car and drive today, right?
Right.
He's got his wits about him and everything. Yep. He's sharp. And as much fun as you have in dirt and as much as he's done for you, you say he's done a lot for you. And,
yes.
and so
Even
forth.
started a race team.
Right.
You think
So
you
think
might,
how that would come full circle.
You might bring it full circle and show him the enjoyment that you get from dirt. And so say, "Hey, Rusty, come out to the track. Let's have a play day."
Yeah, me and you share a lot in common. Your dad and my brother were hard on us. So, the deal with Rusty, first I want to back up, and I feel bad about this to this day. Rusty, out of nowhere, never asked me for my opinion. But when he was 49 and your father passed away, he looked at me, Mike, and Rusty. We were down somewhere in Florida doing an appearance, and he was really mulling that retirement around. I could tell he wanted to retire. It's like he wanted somebody. I looked at him and I said, "Brother," I said, "you just might as well retire, because when you get over 50, everybody thinks you're not serious anyway. It's funny."
Yeah.
He goes on David Letterman's show and says that. Says, my brother Kenny says, once you get over 50, everybody starts making fun of you. And then Mark Martin came along and was winning at 52, and I'm like, oh God, So this is the first time I've ever admitted that. I feel bad that I told Rusty that, but the only reason I said it is because I was wanting to make him feel good about it.
Sure.
He wanted to retire.
You wanted to support him.
I wanted to support him, so I dreamed that up. And it was true at the time. It's like, brother, just retire. Once you start, if you're over 50, people make fun of you anyway. You just might as well quit.
Yeah.
So I would love to have Rusty. I would love, and I don't want this to come across wrong. I would love to hang out with my brother Rusty. But I tell him, and I don't want him to take this wrong. I tell Rusty, brother, you're too busy being famous for me.
Yeah.
I'm back in the shop welding because I love welding. I'm working on. Me and my buddies are redneck as hell. We eat lunch at Detours in a local house. I go in there. They don't care that I'm dirty. I don't got to get dressed up.
Yeah.
And I look at. There's two people that I think are afraid. I think Jeff Gordon and Rusty need to simmer down a little bit and just have a blast.
Yeah.
I begged Jeff Gordon. I was so happy to see Jeff Gordon out at the dirt track and supporting Brad Sweet on that chain. Those two could do like you. I think it's absolutely wonderful that you're supporting racing still. It's big. And I wish Rusty and I wish Jeff Gordon. I begged Jeff Gordon to come to Terre Haute. And hey, Jeff, come out to Terre Haute, man. I remember one time, I'm like, Jeff, you're the greatest at Terre Haute. But I can't get Rusty, to remember that time me and you talked about you just want to jump in your hauler, a truck with your buddies and just go.
Yeah.
And then you realize once you get on the road, damn, that's a lot of work. but I wish, how cool would that be if Rusty and Jeff Gordon just jumped in a pickup truck and showed up at Macon one night? Dude, them people would go nuts.
Yeah.
They'd go nuts for just one of them. Like, seriously, if it was just Rusty.
Well, my curiosity is if you just said, "Hey, Rusty, I've got this dirt track on Wednesday, and it's just going to be me and you, and I want to take you out there and let you drive a modified and see if you like it, and see if you have fun."
It's good advice. I think I'll take you up on it.
And he might enjoy it.
Yeah, he might.
Because I think that Rusty has an itch to scratch.
I agree.
I know that every retired race car driver would love nothing more than to get behind the wheel every once in a while and just play.
Yeah, I agree.
No responsibility, no pressure to perform or nothing.
And he may be too proud to,
He's too proud.
admit it
Yeah,
or
for
whatever.
Sure.
So scratch it for
100% too proud to.
Don't take no for an answer.
Way too proud to call him and say, "Hey, can I?"
Right.
He won't. He would much rather you call him and go, "Hey,
He confided.
You're needed. We need you,
let's
Rusty.
go have some fun."
I don't know what to do with this car. I need you to come shake it down for me.
Rusty, come tell me how to set this thing up. Wink, wink.
Yeah, here's what I think. Here's the reason I don't think Rusty demands to be the best. Yeah. You know what I mean? He's the greatest.
Yeah.
He spent his whole Cup career, I'm the best, nobody better than me. Seriously now.
I know, but I get it. At 56 years old, how old are you? 56?
I'm 56.
You sure? You're at the age where you can call them up and go, "Hey, ass, let's go play."
I should do that.
What? They just got done racing over at the short track in Charlotte.
Yeah.
You could even make it easy on him and say, "Hey, I'll bring the down here.
Let's do it.
Let's just play on a Tuesday or Wednesday. Nobody around."
I have to admit, I'm still a little afraid of my brother.
You're 56.
Yeah, I know.
And you might do something for him that he didn't even know he needed.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And, and me, the reason I'm a little silent right now is because I need to do more with Rusty. It's like I say, and I am dead serious. I do love my brothers. Rusty's got this place in Cabo, and I'm like, what the hell are you doing in Cabo? That is
no
not
kidding.
you.
Yeah.
In this golfing.
That's a long way to go.
Not Rusty. If you would have told me Rusty Wallace would have a place in Cabo, San Lucas, Mexico, and he'd be going down there all the time, and Rusty Wallace would be golfing, I'd say, you're not talking about my brother.
Yeah.
But it's all good.
Hell yeah.
I'm just too redneck. I'm way over here, and he's way over here.
Yeah.
It's like this shirt. This shirt ain't even me. It's a shirt I stole from Fox Sports when I left, and I thought I'd wear this.
I'm taking this. I'm taking
But they
this.
made these shirts to fit me. I might as well
it would come in handy.
Yeah, right.
Someday.
Right.
All right, man. We're out of time, so we're gonna have a.
Darn it.
We're gonna have to wrap it up. But the thing about it is that we hope to have this show for a long time, and I got half the I didn't even get to talk to you about. And so we're going to get you back on here. When we were talking about guests, we started, people started soliciting their ideas on who we should have on the show.
Yeah.
Your name is very popular. So there's going to be a lot of people very excited that you were on, that we got you on before the end of the season. We got one more show after this one, and then we're done for a while. So I didn't get Schrader on this year. I was hoping I could.
Be good.
We're going to have to get him on next year. Same thing with Mark Martin, but we were lucky to snag you before the end of this year. But we would love to have you come back because there's a lot more to it that we didn't get to, we didn't get to talk about. And I know you enjoy being on the show. So
I appreciate you both very much. I'm a big fan of your guys. This deal's big now.
It's fun.
I'm excited for it. Well, you get more content for the sport. That's why I say, you're really good for NASCAR.
Thank you.
They should be paying you. And you, Mike.
Shoot. Well, talk to him.
Sure.
No, I'm kidding. Listen, everything he said is right. What we got to do is look at your race schedule next year, and whenever you're nearby, that's when we book Kenny Wallace.
I'm gonna back it down.
You and Schrader, y'all race so much. And so anything you do is extracurricular, and it's around the race schedule. So that's what we got to do. We'll start working on you next year because you got to be a once a year for sure a guest on the show.
I'm honored to be on this.
We need to get out there and watch him race.
Well,
That would be big.
Be fun.
Bigger than big. We have to get security guards. Earnhart's here.
What's the track? What's that one track with the board walls that next to the fairgrounds? You raced. We were talking about it this year.
Oh gosh,
You won there, but you also said you had a little rough time there.
I don't know.
Fairbury?
So many.
Fairbury.
Fairbury.
Yes.
Fairbury.
So the walls.
Legendary.
Yeah. It's got the wooden grandstands, wooden walls.
Yeah. Fairbury, Farmer City.
Yes.
Yes.
And
They're
there's
legendary tracks.
There's a fair out.
Oh no, Terre Haute.
No, not Terre Haute.
Not Terre Haute.
This is a
It's
very
got fair.
tiny little racetrack. And I remember walking out. We were there with Schrader that week, and I remember walking outside and watching these two guys fight, and I was eating a kebab. And I have been dying for one of those damn beef kebabs ever since.
Yeah.
I mean, this was back when I was 15, and
Yeah.
I've wanted one of these kebabs ever since. So
Oh
if
my
I
God.
go watch a dirt race, I
Yeah.
want to go there so I can also get the kebab.
I've often daydreamed thinking how I can like cover you up and like have you come with me.
Yeah.
You know, it's like how can I make it to where he comes and everybody doesn't know he's with me. I've daydreamed about that.
Me too.
Yeah.
Let's make it happen.
Y'all going to make it happen.
All right, buddy.
All right. Thanks. God, that was fun.
That was good.
Oh, that's better than good. Look at there. Got a pinball machine in here.